Hey guys, I've got a topic I want to talk about today. I want to talk a bit more about my OCD and how that affects my day-to-day life. But before I start, I just want to say in the last couple of videos I was watching back and editing them, and I saw the number of times I said in between each thing I was saying. It was getting so frustrating. I could have just like got hold of myself in the screen and just like shook my head and just said shut up, because it really was getting so frustrating. Please don't go back and watch those videos now, because that's all you're going to be focused on. You won't even be listening to the topic. You'll just be focused on every time I say But anyway, I'm gonna focus really hard not to say that today. I'll have to think of some other way of of joining my words together. But also, if you hear any sort of suspicious noises in the background, that's the window cleaners that have decided to turn up just when I get the camera out. So yeah, that's what that noise is. But it's going to be quite helpful for me to talk to the camera today, because my parents have actually gone away. They've gone to Rome for a couple of days. So that's sort of left me in the house on my own. And in recent times, that would have been a really difficult thing for me, because when I've not got people to sort of keep me accountable and sort of make sure that I'm staying on track, in the past I've tended to slip back into old habits. So like I would have started filling any spare time in my day with obsessive exercise or things like that. And but obviously, because I've been working really hard to try and reduce filling all of my time with exercise or food related things, and I've started to do more sort of normal family things. It's going to be good for me to sort of talk to the camera at these times where I might be sort of struggling for things to do and thinking about whether or not I should be expending energy in the form of exercise, or spending more time at the gym, or just doing things which aren't really going to help in my recovery process. So that sort of leads on to my topic today about how my OCD affects my everyday life. Because for me personally, with my OCD, a lot of my rituals that I have, how they come out is with things to do with exercise and food. Like, whereas someone else, that they might excessively wash their hands, or they might have certain routines with like having to step on a certain brick on the floor, or they might have to turn off lights a certain number of times. A lot of my rituals are focused around like completing exercise and doing sticking to a very structured meal schedule, and like the way that I eat food. Everything is done in a very methodical way, and it's all very sort of obsessive in nature. Like, really, from the moment I get up to the moment that I go to bed, everything is sort of pretty much in a rigid structure, which doesn't really vary every day. So like, I wake up at the same time every day. Meals are at the same time every day. When I go to the gym would be like the same times every day. So there wouldn't be any sort of variance in that. And even things like when I go to the toilet, because to me that's quite important, because as I've discussed in previous videos, I struggle a lot with feeling bloated and things. So the fact that I know when sort of the time for the toilet is helps me to, so that I know when I'm feeling bloated and when I'm not feeling bloated, and then that then dictates sort of when I'm able to go to the gym, which I know isn't helpful, but as I say, that's sort of how it is at the moment. And as I said, if there's any threat of disturbance to my routine, so if I have a meeting that I have to go to, or if for whatever reason I have to jiggle around my day such that something is at a different time, it can cause me extreme distress and discomfort. And I think that's the point where there's a difference between having a routine and having a structure to your day, and then OCD to the point where if that routine is messed up for whatever reason, it causes you extreme anxiety. That's sort of the difference between a healthy routine to your day and unhealthy, really. So another way that it really affects me a lot is with weighing my food, because at the moment, as I've said, I do weigh out and measure everything that I eat to make sure that I'm sticking to this same number of calories every day. But with certain foods, I'll have like very particular rituals where I have to tap the scales a certain number of times, and I have to make sure that the number is exactly right before I take the item off the scale. So, and also some of the numbers are quite odd numbers. That's part of the reason why I don't really want to share, specific weights of food that I'm consuming things, because they're quite obscure numbers. Like it's, where someone else might just have 100 grams of something, I might be having 102 grams of something, or 103 grams of something. So it's all just little things which obviously I know moving forward I really do need to work on. But at the moment it's helping me to keep my weight maintained at least, and keeping my health in reasonable check. So whilst ever I'm not deteriorating, I'm sort of happy going on like that. But I do know that to move forward and progress, I do need to change that. And also, like, if I go upstairs just to do something, like, I don't know, if I need to take up the towels when we finish drying them after being in the shower, if I take the towels up, I need to go up the stairs a certain number of times. Like, I couldn't just take the towels up once and come down. I'd need to do it like an even number of times, and often that would be, depending on how anxious I am on that day, it might be, if I'm feeling alright, I could just go up twice. But if I'm having a really difficult day, I might have to go up 8 times just to take the towels, and obviously that gets draining. Like, every time you need to do a job upstairs, having to go up the stairs a certain number of times, over the course of a day, it does add up, and it's not just physically exhausting, it's mentally exhausting, having to think about, each time I go upstairs, I'm not just going to go up once. It's a certain number of times. It does sort of beat you down after a while, and I'm on that. I am actually doing a lot better with the exercise at home than I used to be. Like in the past, pretty much any spare time in the day was filled with doing ritualistic exercise at home, and I've cut that down drastically, to the point where I do actually have now quite a lot of spare time in my day where previously I was exercising and I'm now not. And I actually do find that quite difficult, because I know that, like, for example, now, a few months ago, I would have been doing some sort of exercise at home, but I'm really having to sort of keep tabs on myself to stop myself from doing that, because I know that all it will do is just make me slip back into my old ways, and then I'll be right back at square one again. And the last few months of hard work that I've put in will just be, I'll just have to do it all over again, really, because I know that once I start implementing things back in, like once I start letting the OCD things creep back in, once they take an inch, they want to take a mile. So before I know it, I'll be, running up and down stairs 100 times every time I need to take the towels up or whatever. So I really do need to make sure that I keep myself accountable and keep up the good work that I've been doing. Just a few other ways that my OCD affects me. Also, well, in the past, I sort of created this rule for myself a few years ago where I couldn't sit down at all. So, like, whenever I was at school or at college, I had to be standing in all of my lessons, and obviously that's not really practical, because in a lot of classroom based things you need to be sat down. And like when I took my GCSE exams, I did them standing up, and that meant that I had to be in a room on my own, and it wasn't normal. Like, obviously the difference in calorie burn between standing and sitting is negligible, but to me, I had this rule that I could not sit down, and that something awful would happen. Like, I'd put on loads of weight if I sat down. And I mean, like, I'm sitting down now filming these, and it feels fine, but I do still struggle with sitting down for long periods of time. But I'm getting better with it. But so that sort of impacted things like being able to go to also football matches, which in the past I've had season tickets for my local football team, Ipswich Town, but I can't really go to football matches, because if ever we go to a match and everyone's sitting down, I don't feel that I can do it because I need to be in an area where everyone's standing. So, I've had a season ticket in the past where I've been in an all standing area, and that's okay. But if ever I go to another football match where I can only be in a seated area, then I wouldn't be able to be there. I'd have to like move seats to the back so that I can stand up, and it's really awkward. It just gets in the way of normal life, really. I'm conscious of the time of this video that I have got a bit more that I want to talk about, but I think I'll probably leave that for a future video. I think because I think it might tie in well with another topic that I've got to talk about. So I hope that's been helpful for you today. Remember, as always, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and also subscribe to my Instagram channel, which I've got, as always, I always have it linked in the description box down below. Please give the video a like, and share my videos with anyone that you think might benefit from seeing them. I really just want to get this out there and just help as many people as I can. And thank you all for watching, and I'll be back here soon. So see you later. Bye.